Hello, my name is Radhakrishna. I am senior lecturer in chemistry, working at Government Polytechnic College, Gadwal. We have started acids and bases, and in the last class, we have learned about the characteristics of acids and bases, as well as the Arrhenius theory of acids and bases, and the shortcomings of the Arrhenius theory. All these things we have learned in the previous class. On the completion of this period, here in this period we will learn Bronsted-Lowry theory as well as Lewis theory. If time permits us, let us also learn about ionic product of water. Okay, first let us see the Bronsted-Lowry theory of acids and bases. Okay. Arrhenius theory defined acids as the substances that release H plus ions in the aqueous solutions, and bases are the substances which release OH minus ions in the aqueous solutions. So Arrhenius theory defines acids with reference to H plus ions and bases with reference to only to OH minus ions, whereas Bronsted-Lowry theory seeks to broaden the reach of substances which can be classified as acids and bases. Okay, so it defines both acids and bases in terms of H plus ion or proton. That is why Bronsted-Lowry theory is also called as a protonic theory of acids and bases, because it defines both acids as well as bases in terms of proton. With reference to proton, it defines both acids and bases. So it can be justifiably called as a protonic theory of acids and bases. Acid is a substance, according to Bronsted-Lowry theory. An acid is a substance which can donate a proton to other substance. Here you don't have any reference to any aqueous solutions. That is done away with. This seeks to broaden. It has broadened the definition of or ambit of acids and bases, substances which can be classified into acids and bases. Okay, so acid is defined as any substance which can donate a proton to the other substance. For instance, you take hydrochloric acid. If you take hydrochloric acid, it donates I'm sorry, if you take hydrochloric acid, it donates a proton. Hydrochloric acid donates a proton to water. HCl plus H2O gives H3O plus and Cl minus. Hydrochloric acid donates a proton to water. Water molecule, H2O molecule, accepts that proton and turns into H3O plus, because H plus is going, H plus is it is accepting H plus ion, so it gets a positive charge, H3O plus ion. We can call it as a hydronium ion or H3O plus, and it turns into Cl minus. Okay, then according to Bronsted-Lowry theory of acids and bases, a base is defined as a substance which can accept a proton from any other substance. Base is a substance which accepts a proton. Okay, here ammonia acts as a base. It accepts a proton from H2O, water, and NH3 plus H2O gives NH4 plus plus of OH minus. So ammonia is turning into accepting a proton from water, and it is turning into ammonium ion and hydroxyl ion. Okay, so you can see that both acids as well as bases are defined with reference to just a proton. Proton donor is an acid, proton acceptor is a base. It's as simple as that. Okay, now acid base reaction involves two acids and two bases. You can see the whole equation. Okay, let us consider two examples. First, HCl plus H2O HCl is donating a proton to H2O. See, this is a reversible reaction. Acid-base reactions are mostly reversible reactions. That is, reaction takes place, occurs in both the sides, forward direction as well as backward direction. Okay, HCl donates a proton in the forward reaction. HCl donates a proton to water. HCl acting as an acid, water is acting as a base, whereas and forming H3O plus and Cl minus. And in the reverse reaction, Cl minus and H3O plus are reacting, and H3O plus is donating a proton to Cl minus, and they are turning into, back in the reverse reaction, they are turning into H2O and HCl. In the forward reaction, HCl acid, water is base, H2O is base, whereas in the backward reaction, chloride ion is acid, hydronium water is H3O plus is acting as acid. Okay, so acid 1 and acid 2, base 1 and base 2, a pair of acids and bases are involved in the whole reaction if you consider. Likewise, in the case of, in the second reaction example we will consider, okay, NH3 plus H2O, ammonia plus water gives rise to H3O plus and OH minus. In the forward reaction, NH3 is, ammonia is acting as a base, water is acting as a acid. Okay, water is donating proton, so it's acting as acid, and to give rise to ammonium ion and hydroxyl ion. In the reverse reaction or backward reaction, OH minus is acting as a base, ammonia NH4 plus ammonium ion is acting as an acid, ammonium ion is donating a proton to base to give rise to NH3 plus and water. Okay, so here in the forward reaction, ammonia is base and water is an acid. In the backward reaction, ammonium ion is acid and hydroxyl ion is the base. Okay, that's what it's written, we wrote here. In the first reaction, HCl and Cl minus, yeah, HCl in the first reaction, if you see, HCl and Cl minus are differ by a proton. What is the difference between HCl and Cl minus? Just a proton, H plus ion. Okay, so this pair is called as a conjugate acid base pair. It's called as a conjugate acid base pair. Okay, let us this conjugate acid base pair concept comes from the Bronsted-Lowry theory. Okay, how we define a conjugate acid base pair is the acid base pair differing by a proton is called as a conjugate acid base pair. The acid base pair differing by a proton is called as a conjugate acid base pair. Examples are HCl and Cl minus, they differ by just a proton, they are conjugate acid base pair. If you see NH4 plus and NH3, they also differ by means of a proton, right? So they are also conjugate acid base pair, they form. Likewise, H3O plus and H2O, they also differ by a proton, H plus ion, they also form a conjugate acid base pair. In the similar fashion, H2O and OH minus, the difference between them is H plus ion again. Okay, so it forms a conjugate acid base pair. It also forms a conjugate acid base pair. Okay, next, neutralization according to Lowry-Bronsted theory. According to Lowry-Bronsted theory, the concept of neutralization. Okay, neutralization is the transfer of proton from an acid to base. Okay, here transfer of proton from acid base or formation of a conjugate acid base pair is called as neutralization. Okay, so in the reaction, forward reaction, H2O is transferring a proton to NH3 and okay, and that is called as a neutralization, transfer of a proton from acid to base or formation of a conjugate acid base pair. So NH3 is turning into NH4 plus Here NH3 turning into NH4 plus, while H2O is turning into OH minus. NH3 and NH4 differ by a proton, they form into a conjugate acid base pair. Likewise, H2O and OH minus differ by just a proton, they also form a conjugate acid base pair. So neutralization can be defined in two ways here. According to Bronsted-Lowry theory, neutralization can be explained or defined in two ways. That is, simply transfer of a proton from an acid to base can be called as neutralization, or other words, by this transfer of proton, a conjugate acid base pair is getting formed or coming into existence. So the formation of a conjugate acid base pair is also called as neutralization. Formation of conjugate acid base pair is also called as neutralization. Okay, either way, neutralization can be defined either way, as either as a transfer of proton or as the formation of a conjugate acid base pair. Both are equally applicable as definitions of neutralization here in this theory. The above reaction has two acid base pairs. Obviously, NH4 plus and NH3, these two differ by a proton, so they form into a conjugate acid base pair. Likewise, H2O and OH minus, they also differ by a proton, and as such they form into a conjugate acid base pair. And further, in an acid base pair, that is conjugate acid base pair, if the acid is strong, if the acid happens to be strong, its conjugate base is weak, and vice versa. Okay, this is very important concept. It has got great applicability in deciding the strengths of acids and bases. So conjugate base of a strong acid is weak, and conjugate base of a weak acid is strong. Okay, let us see a few examples here, which will clarify the thing for us. Okay, this concept will be clarified. Okay, HCl is a strong acid, Cl minus is its base, conjugate base, which is a weak base. Likewise, HNO3 is a strong acid, nitrate ion, NO3 minus nitrate ion is a conjugate base of HNO3, it is a weak base. Okay, H2SO4 is a strong acid, and HSO4 minus is a conjugate base of H2SO4. Since it is a conjugate base of a strong acid, it is a weak base. H2O is a weak acid. H2O is a very weak acid. Okay, so OH minus is its conjugate base. Since it is conjugate base of a weak acid like H2O, OH minus is a strong base. Ammonia is actually, it acts as a base, but here we have shown it as acid. If ammonia loses a proton, it turns into amide ion, NH2 minus ion. Amide ion is the conjugate base of a very weak acid in H3. So amide ion is perhaps one of the strongest bases. Amide ion is, NH2 minus ion is one of the strongest bases because it is a conjugate base of very weak acid. Okay, acetic acid is a weak acid, it ionizes very little, and when it loses a proton, it turns into CH3COO minus the acetate ion. Okay, so the acetate ion is a strong base. Since it is a conjugate base of a weak acid like acetic acid, acetate ion is a strong base. Again, HCN is a weak acid, it hardly ionizes, it is a very weak acid, and its corresponding conjugate base, cyanide ion, is a strong base. It is a very strong base. Cyanide ion is a very strong base. Okay. Let us see this. Try to explain the strengths of acids and bases according to Lowry-Bronsted theory. Okay, according to Lowry-Bronsted theory, let us try to explain strengths of acids and bases. An acid is a substance which has a greater tendency to donate a proton. A strong acid. A strong acid is an acid which has got a greater tendency to donate a proton. So here acids, strengths of acids and bases are defined with reference to the tendency either to lose electron or gain electron. If it has a strong tendency or great tendency to lose a proton, then it obviously furnishes more number of H plus ions and it's a strong acid. Okay. If an acid has a lesser tendency to donate a proton, it's a weak acid. It donates a fewer number, obviously it donates a fewer number of protons. As far as strong acid and weak acid is concerned, we can find an analogy with the strengths of strong acid and weak acid definitions of the Arrhenius theory, previous Arrhenius theory. Arrhenius theory also says that and a strong acid is a substance which gives a large number of H plus ions. Here also, in our Bronsted-Lowry theory also, it comes to the same thing. Here, it has got greater tendency, strong acid has greater tendency to donate protons. So, it provides a large number of protons akin to or similar to our Arrhenius theory definition. And weak acid has less tendency to donate protons, so it provides a lesser number of protons. Okay, it releases lesser number of protons, which is also again similar to the definition of Arrhenius theory. You can find similarities between strengths of acids and bases between Arrhenius theory and Lowry-Bronsted theory. But when bases are concerned, they are totally different. A base has a strong base. See, a base which has a greater tendency to accept a proton is called a strong base. So, a strong base accepts proton with greater vigor, it holds it very tightly and forms a stable product. So, it is a strong base. Whereas, a weak base is a base which has a very less tendency, very less tendency to accept a proton, very weak tendency, very less tendency to accept a proton. So, even if it accepts a proton, since it has a less tendency to accept a proton, it does not form a stable product. You can infer. Okay. So, a strong base has greater tendency to accept a proton, whereas a weak base has a lesser tendency to accept a proton. According to Lowry-Bronsted theory, these are the strengths of this is how strengths of acids and bases is explained here. Okay. In a conjugate acid base pair, if one is stronger, the other is weak. We have seen this. Okay. In the conjugate acid base pair, if the acid is stronger, the conjugate base is weak, and if the acid is weak, the corresponding conjugate base is strong. We have seen this already, and here we are explaining it again. HCl is strong acid because it has got a great tendency to give out a proton, to donate a proton or to lose a proton. So, its conjugate base Cl has a less tendency, conjugate Cl has a less tendency to accept a proton. So, it is a weak base. Okay. CH3COOH is a weak acid, that is, it has got less tendency to donate a proton. CH3COOH has a less tendency to donate a proton, and as such it acts as a weak acid. Okay. Its conjugate base CH3CO minus, the acetate ion is called. Okay. It has got more tendency to accept a proton, hence it is a strong base. Okay. It is a strong base. Now let us see the limitations of Lowry-Bronsted theory or Bronsted-Lowry theory. Okay. First of all, it could not explain the Hg characters of non-protonic compounds. See, according to Lowry-Bronsted theory, a proton donor, H plus ion donor is an acid. If a substance doesn't have any protons, it cannot be classified as an acid at all. Okay, even if it exhibits acidic tendency, acidic nature, even if the substance don't exhibits acidic tendency, also even then also it cannot be classified because it is aprotic, it doesn't have a proton, because according to the definition it has got to be have a proton and it must be able to donate that proton, then only it can be classified as an acid. For example, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, these two are acidic in nature, they are being oxides of non-metals, they are acidic in nature, and BF3 and AlCl3 also, they exhibit acidic character, but these cannot be, by any stretch of imagination, you cannot classify them into acids and bases, because for the simple fact that they lack proton, okay, they lack hydrogen atom, so they cannot donate a proton, so they cannot be classified as acid, even though they very much exhibit acidic nature. Likewise, it could not explain the neutralization, the theory could not explain the neutralization reactions in which proton transfer doesn't take place. It recognizes only transfer of proton as neutralization or formation of a conjugate acid pair by transfer of a proton is called as neutralization. If the neutralization happens to involve, if the neutralization doesn't involve a transfer of proton, it cannot at all be classified as a neutralization. For example, CaO, calcium oxide, is a basic oxide, CO2 is carbon dioxide, is an acidic oxide. These two combine to form calcium oxide, calcium carbonate. Okay, calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide gives rise to calcium carbonate. Okay, which can be called as a salt in the traditional acid base neutralization theory. Okay, this is a neutralization, a reaction between acid and base, but this cannot be, by any stretch of imagination, it cannot be classified as a neutralization in the Lowry-Bronsted theory, because it does not involve any transfer of proton here. Okay, that's it. That's about the Lewis Bronsted-Lowry acid-base theory. Next we will move on to Lewis theory of acids and bases. Lewis theory of acids and bases. So far we have discussed Bronsted-Lowry theory of acids and bases, which states proton donor is an acid, proton acceptor is a base. We have seen the neutralization as a transfer of proton from acid to base. We have seen strengths of acids and bases, and we have also come across or encountered the limitations of Lowry-Bronsted theory, the facts which it cannot explain. Okay, now we will move on to next acid base theory, that is Lewis theory. Okay, let us try to solve one or two quiz questions which will strengthen our understanding, which will test and strengthen our understanding. Yeah, in the earlier cases, I forgot to mention a point. In the earlier examples, we have seen in some of the reactions, water is acting as an acid when it is in the company of ammonia. Water is donating a proton to ammonia to form ammonium ion, whereas in the company of HCl, it is accepting a proton and acting as a base. Okay, so water is acting, exhibiting the behavior of both. It is acting both as an acid and as a base. Okay, likewise ammonia also we have seen, it loses the proton to form amide ion. Okay, amide ion, it also loses the proton and acts as acid. It also, ammonia acts also, it also a very well known base, ammonia. So ammonium MnH3 acts both as acid and base. So HCl acts only as acid. C2H6 methane, C2H4 ethylene, both of them are neither acid nor base. Okay, they are neutral compounds. Whereas ammonia is a well known base. At times it can as well act as an acid. So any substance that acts as both acid which exhibits the behavior of both acid and base, such substances are called as amphotic substances. In these questions, ammonia NH3 molecule acts as a amphoteric substance. Water is H2O. Water is a very well known celebrated example for exhibiting amphoteric behavior. On the completion of next, let us see the Lewis theory of acids and bases. On the completion of this theory, we will be able to know Lewis theory of acids and bases, types of Lewis acids and bases. Okay. Lewis theory, we are coming to Lewis theory. Before that, let's recapitulate. So far we have learned in this chapter characteristics of or properties of acids and bases, and we have learned Arrhenius theory of acids and bases, which defines acid as a substance which releases H+ ions in the water, aqueous solutions, and base as a substance which releases OH- ions in the aqueous solutions. We have seen the strength of acids, Bronsted-Lowry theory of acids and bases also, which defines acid as a proton donor, base as a proton acceptor. In both the theories, we have seen how they explain the neutralizations, how they explain the strength of acids and bases. Okay, and then we have seen the limitations of these two theories. See, Bronsted-Lowry theory tried to broaden the ambit of acids and bases to include more substances than were included in the Arrhenius theory, and likewise the Lewis theory further broadens the ambit of acid and bases, acid bases scope to classify more and more substances as acids and bases. Okay, now let us go for the Lewis theory of acids and bases. Okay, Lewis theory is classified the acids and bases based on the tendency of substances to lose or gain. Tendency of the substances to lose or gain electron pair. See, so far we have seen acids and bases in terms of chemical species. In the case of Arrhenius theory, okay, releasing protons and releasing OH- ions. In the case of Bronsted theory, Lowry-Bronsted theory, in terms of proton donor and proton acceptor, in terms of protons. Whereas Lewis theory is a sort of revolution. It doesn't speak of any chemicals, it only speaks of electrons. It defines both acids and bases only in terms of electrons. This is a sort of path breaking or revolution, because it doesn't involve any chemical species in the definition. Okay, so since it describes the acids and bases in terms of electrons, it can be justifiably called as electronic theory of acids and bases. Lewis acid is a substance which can accept a pair of electrons to form coordinate covalent bond. Okay, it can accept a pair of electrons to form a coordinate covalent bond. Example, H plus AlCl3, FeCl3, BF3, BCl3. Okay, these substances can accept a pair of electrons to form a coordinate covalent bond, that is called as Lewis acid. A Lewis base is a substance. A Lewis base is a chemical species which can donate a pair of electrons to form a coordinate covalent bond, that is called as Lewis base. Example, NH3, H2O, OH minus. So, electron pair acceptor is an acid and electron pair donor is a base according to Lewis theory. It explains acid base behavior in terms of electron pair donation and acceptance. Salt is a substance. It is an addition product formed by reaction between an acid and a base. Salt is an addition product formed by the formation of an addition product formed by the formation of coordinate covalent bond, or addition product formed by reaction between acid and base. Okay. Now let us see the neutralization. The formation of a coordinate covalent bond between acid and base is called as a neutralization. Okay, A plus B gives A give the formation of ammonium ion, let us say NH4 plus ion, let us say. Okay, ammonia is NH3. Okay, in the outermost orbit ammonia has 3 bonding pairs, 2px2, 2py2, 2pz2, which are bonded here. Ammonia is bonded with hydrogen atoms, and in the 2s2 electron is a lone pair of electron present in the outermost orbit. This lone pair of electrons ammonia can easily donate to other needy species. Okay, the lone pair is the electron pair present in the outermost orbit which is not participating in the chemical bonding, that's called lone pair. Okay, ammonia, in the ammonia nitrogen atom has a lone pair. This lone pair it can donate to other needy species. And hydrogen, in the H plus ion, hydrogen atom has 1s1 electron configuration. It has its single electron is knocked out, and it has got a vacant 1s1 orbital. Okay, 1s orbital, it has got totally vacant 1s orbital, into which it can receive an electron pair from the nitrogen atom of ammonia. So nitrogen atom donates this electron pair to the H plus ion, and which it receives into its vacant lone pair into its vacant 1s orbital. To this leads to the formation of coordinate covalent bond, which can be called as or referred to as neutralization in the theory, in the Lewis acid base theory. Okay, and in the previous two theories after neutralization we have seen the strengths of acids and bases. Lewis theory doesn't explain the strengths of acids and bases. Okay, now let us see the types of Lewis acids and bases. Types of Lewis acids and bases. Lewis acids are of 4 types. There are 4 types of Lewis acids. Lewis acid is which accepts a pair of electron. Simple cations. When an electron is lost in the H from the hydrogen, it has got vacant orbital. Likewise, sodium has vacant orbital. Mg2 plus also vacant orbitals, into which they can accept electron pair from the donors. Okay, so simple cations are act as Lewis acid. Okay, then molecules in which second type is molecule in which central atom has incomplete octet. For example, BCl3, boron trichloride, let us say. In the boron trichloride, okay, its electron configuration is, its atomic number is 5, its electron configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. The 2s electron is promoted to 2p. It has got 3 unpaired electrons, and it forms 3 bonds with 3 chloride atoms. Okay, so around in the outermost orbit, boron has got 6 electrons from 3 bonding pairs, and one 2p orbital is totally vacant. Okay, it has not yet attained required octet for the stability. So boron trichloride with its vacant orbital, it can receive an electron pair from other donor atoms to form a coordinate covalent bond. It receives electron pair into its vacant orbital to form a coordinate covalent bond. Okay, likewise BF3, AlCl3, all of them have a vacant p orbital into which they can receive electron pair. Therefore, they act as Lewis acids. Okay, next, third type is molecules in which central atom can extend the octet. Here in the silicon and stannous, they have got d orbitals, vacant d orbitals. So even though they have octet, they can receive electron pairs into vacant d orbitals. Okay, so they can act as, since vacant d orbitals are there, they can act as Lewis acids. Okay, next, molecules containing double bonds between heteroatoms like carbon dioxide, SO2, NO2, etc. The double bond whenever the double bond is present, one is sigma bond and one is pi bond. Pi bond is very weak and easily polarizable. It is actually polarized. Bond is polarized and it can easily, electrons can shift to give rise to a positive charge ion at the time of reaction in the reaction milieu. Okay, so molecules containing double bond between heteroatoms can also develop easily develop positive charge, and they also act as cations and can receive electron pair from donor atoms, and as such they also form they act as Lewis acids. Okay, they also act as Lewis acids. Types of Lewis bases: negative ions Cl minus, F minus, OH minus, they can donate extra electron pair to the other needy species. Next, second type is molecules containing one or more lone pairs of electrons. In ammonia has one lone pair of electron, H2O has two lone pairs of electrons, chlorine has three lone pairs of electrons in their outermost orbits. These lone pairs they can share or donate with other needy species to form a coordinate covalent bond. Okay, that is why ammonia is a legendary example of this acting as a base, just only because of this lone pair of electrons. In organic chemistry, amines are the chief bases. In biochemistry, they play a vital role as bases. Okay, their basicity stems from the lone pair they have, and nitrogen being less electronegative, it can donate that pair happily, it can share with others. And then the third type of Lewis bases are molecules with multiple bonds between carbon atoms. Multiple bonds means C double bond C or C triple bond C. Ethylene C2H4, it has got a C double bond. The pi electron bond, the pi bond is weak. Okay, that electron cloud can be donated to other needy species. They likewise in the case of acetylene also two pi bonds are there. The pi electrons can be donated to other needy species. They do form complexes with the metals because this electron cloud is received into, pi electron cloud is received into vacant metal orbitals, and especially d orbital metals with in the d block elements, they form such complexes. Okay, and this is about the types of Lewis bases. So we have discussed about Lewis theory of acids and bases, different types of Lewis acids and bases. Okay, let us see a few questions. Which of the following is a Lewis acid? Which is a Lewis acid? Compounds with multiple bonds can act as a Lewis acid, we have said. Okay, so carbon dioxide is a Lewis acid. Okay, it can develop positive charge and act as a cation, and it acts as a Lewis acid. HCl and the rest of the things will not act as a Lewis acids. Which of the following is a Lewis base? Obviously ammonia is the Lewis base with its lone pair of electrons, which it can donate with other needy species and form bonds. Ammonia ion formation we have already checked. Okay, frequently asked questions from this topic are: explains Lewis theory of acids and bases, Laurie Bronsted theory of acids and bases, formation of conjugate acid base pair with an example, and also different types of Lewis and acids with examples. Okay, these are the questions that are asked. Conjugate base of NH3 is conjugate base of NH3 is it has to accept a proton, right? NH3 if it accepts a proton, it turns into conjugate base, not acid. Okay, conjugate base of NH3 is NH3 should act as a acid. Okay, it must lose a proton. When NH3 loses a proton, it turns into NH2 minus amide ion. That is B is the answer. Conjugate base of NH3 is amide ion. That is NH2 minus. Okay, on the completion of next, let us deal with the last topic. That is that is ionic product of water. In this topic, let us define ionic product of water. Representation of Kw, ionic product of water, units of Kw, let us see. Okay. Name some ions, this is we don't need. Okay, we will go for the ionic product of water. Water ionizes as H plus and OH minus. Okay, water usually, but it's a very weak acid. It ionizes very little. It ionizes a very little extent, very little. Okay, applying law of mass action, we have this any equilibrium, for any equilibrium. Okay, we can apply the law of mass action. Here also we can apply the law of mass action. Okay, here the law of mass action, when we apply, K is equal to the equilibrium constant is equal to, K is called as equilibrium constant. Okay, H plus into product, see the square brackets mean concentration terms. In the numerator you have, it's not properly printed here. Then the numerator you have, okay, H plus into OH minus, concentrations of H plus in square brackets as well as OH minus in the square brackets. In the bottom, in the denominator you have concentration of H2O in the square brackets. See, pure water ionizes to very less extent. The concentration of water practically doesn't change. It remains almost constant because pure water changes, dissociates to very less extent, so that the term in the denominator, the concentration of H2O is also a constant. Okay, concentration of H2O can be taken as a constant. If it is taken to the other side, you get K into concentration of H2O is equal to concentration of product of concentrations of H plus and OH minus. Okay, the K into H2O, concentration of H2O can be written as Kw, can be written as Kw. Okay, Kw. So this is ionic product. Kw is called as ionic product of water. Kw is equal to H plus and OH minus. It is a product of H plus and OH minus. Okay, product of H plus and product of ionic molar constant. This can be defined as ionic product of water can be defined as the product of molar concentrations of H plus ion and OH minus ion at a given temperature. Usually the temperature is taken as 25 degrees centigrade. Okay, the Kw is a constant known as ionic product of water, obviously ionic product of water, and the units of Kw is equal to moles per liter squared. It is moles per liter squared, mole square plus liter square, because it's a product of molar concentration. Molarity is defined as moles per liter. H plus has got 1 moles per liter into, again OH minus concentration also moles per liter, so it becomes moles squared per liter squared units. Okay, definition of Kw, the product of, I have just mentioned the same thing we are mentioning here, the product of molar concentrations of hydrogen and hydroxyl ions, product of molar concentrations of hydrogen and hydroxyl ions at a given temperature of water is known as ionic concentrations of, is known as ionic product of water. It's the product of those ions, two ions H plus and OH minus ions, their product. So we call it as ionic product. Since these come from water, we call it as ionic product of water. So let us see the definition once again. Definition of ionic product of water, Kw, the product of molar concentrations of hydrogen ion and hydroxyl ions at any temperature, at a given temperature, is known as ionic product of water. The ionization of water increases with increase in temperature. So the value of Kw increases with the increase in temperature. Kw also increases with the increase in temperature. Kw at 25 degrees centigrade is equal to, not 250, it's wrongly written. Okay, 25 degree centigrade, okay, Kw at 25 degree centigrade, 1 into 10 to the power of minus 14 moles squared per liter squared, 1 into 10 to the power of minus 14 moles squared per liter squared. How to calculate concentrations of H plus and OH minus? We know that Kw is equal to H plus product of H plus and OH minus ions. If you want to calculate the H plus ion concentration, that is equal to Kw. When OH minus is sent to the other side, it goes into the denominator. So concentration of H plus is equal to Kw by concentration of OH minus. Likewise, the concentration of OH minus is equal to Kw by concentration of H plus. Okay, are things clear to you? The concentration of H plus OH minus ions, acidic, basic and neutral solutions. In acidic solution, the concentration of H plus is more than OH minus. It's quite obvious. Okay. In the basic solution, hydroxyl ions will be predominant. That is, concentration of OH minus is greater than H plus ions. And in a neutral solution, again, in neutral solutions, H plus ions are equal to OH minus ions, so that neither predominates. The solution will be electrically neutral. Okay. Summary. Let us see. What have we seen? We have seen ionic product of water. The relation Kw is equal to ionic product of is equal to H product of H plus and OH minus ion concentrations. Units of Kw are for ionic product of water are mole squared per liter square. In the whole class, what have we learned? We have learned what have we learned? Laurie-Bronsted theory and its limitations we have learned. Likewise, we have also learned Lewis theory and its limitations. We have learned the concept of conjugate acid base pair. We have seen the examples. We have also seen the Lewis theory and neutralization. Lewis theory cannot explain the strength of acids and bases. And also we have seen we have learned about ionic product of water. Okay, ionic product of water. Let's see a few questions. Okay, ionic product of water is represented by obviously Kw. Okay, K subscript W. Okay. Next, units of Kw are moles per liter, moles squared per liter square, moles and none. It's obviously moles squared plus per liter squared. We have discussed. Okay, we have already discussed. That's the end of the lecture. In this lecture, we have learned all aspects of Bronsted-Lowry theory, the concept of a conjugate acid base pair with examples. We have learned Lewis acid base theory, the limitations of Lewis acid base theory, limitations of Bronsted-Lowry theory, and also learned about the ionic product of water. With this we conclude. Thank you everybody.